Today I watched the world go by. I look out of a window. Turn a wheel. Go into a tunnel, and just as in real life, discover quantum physics and the matrix fails. Whoops. Oh dear, Dovetail Games. You've broken the matrix, haven't you? And then I have a bit of a brown trousers moment because I wasn't paying attention, as usual. Oops. Hello. This is the TransPennine mission, and I had 3 or 4 goes at it before I actually managed to do it. And you'll see this is quite a monumental screw up on this one. I'm going to show you the couple of mistakes I made before I show you the whole scenario. I'm not spoiling anything. It's not that exciting. So take a note of where these steps are that I'm going up, because I'm just doing what I normally do. I think I'm like 15 or 20 minutes into this mission so far. I can't really tell, and I've already been there previously because I've already failed it before this one, if that makes any sense to you. I don't know if you noticed when I went down them steps there was a picture of a map on the wall. That's one of the collectibles. So if you do fail the scenario, I think you get to keep your XP, and you definitely get to keep. Ooh, look, nearly get my head taken off. It was way too close. And you get to keep your collectibles for definite, because, like I say, I failed this one, and now everything looks all right. And I'm thinking, any more collectibles around here that I might not have missed? Oh, there's one. Sandwiches. Yum yum yum. Except they're British rail sandwiches, so probably not so yum yum. And I think, well, I'll go up this set of steps as well. Oh, look, there's the map. Oh, hang on. Didn't I have to walk backwards to get to them steps before? Oh dear. Somebody's forgot to put the handbrake on. Who do you think that might be? And thanks to the physics, I can't get back in. Ah dear. Anyway, eventually that train just keeps on rolling. It just keeps on rolling, and it ends up so far away. I think about running for it, you know, when it get thinking, oh, is it going to get to a low spot where eventually it'll stop and I can get back on it. But I thought to myself, I can't be bothered. You know what I mean? But just accept it. By the time I've waited for it to stop, I could have probably done the old scenario again. So it's not exactly going fast, but I can't get on it. So that's basically that. So I just give up on it anyway. So, ooh, look at that, tooting like a professional. I noticed that the number of the speed is in red. I'm going quite fast because I'm thinking, I'll just see how fast I can go. This is an unusual train. You have to change gear in it. So, you know, I'm just playing out. Except I've got really close to the station and I'm still doing like 50 odd miles an hour. So here we go. Just blow straight through. No way that we're going to stop. So anyway, eventually I stopped. So I think, well, that's not too much of a problem. I'll probably be like half a mile or so, you know. Get it to a stop. No, it's the signal colour where it says next and the distance. Brakes squeaking. So I'm not going to spoil out here. I'm going to go backwards. I want to go back to the station and carry on the scenario. I'm quite a long way into this one, and further than was in the one where it ran backwards. So eventually I get it going backwards. I don't know if you noticed, the as soon as I started going backwards, it went from green to red. End of scenario. Look at that there. This is the scenario now. Did you see that? The snow melted. There was no snow in the scenario, but there was snow when it started. Oh, that's what it looked like. The dovetail game special by the look of it. This train is part of the TransPennine part. There's 3 different trains with it. I haven't really looked. I don't know if you get to use different liveries on them, because I'm sure some people would be interested in that. It doesn't really bother me what colour my train is. Making all my lights work. I didn't even ask you to do this, you see. I'm not much of a professional now, I'm just doing it. I'd have been better off unlocking the doors. So the signal's at red still. Just having a look around in the train. There's quite a lot of tunnels on this scenario, and when you go through the tunnel, you can't see your controls anymore. And one of the tunnels is very, very long. I think you must go under the Pennines rather than over it. If you don't live in UK, you're not going to know what the Pennines are. They're just some quite high hills or semi-mountains that run down the centre of the country, and they separate 2 counties. Well, 2 counties of and a bit more really, I suppose. They run from north to south in the centre of Britain, between Yorkshire and Lancashire, and in winter it's difficult to get over them in your car and stuff like that. There's a motorway that goes over it now, the M62, but it's forever getting frozen, because we don't do winter very well in this country. Half an inch of snow and it just grinds to an halt. Mind you, it's pretty mild. I think we sell more soft tops in this country than anywhere else in the world, because some places it's way too hot in it, California or Australia. Imagine that. I think they've had 50 degrees nearly, haven't they, in Australia lately, because it's their summer now, isn't it? I mean, imagine that. 50 degrees or 49 degrees. That's hotter than deserts used to be in Australia. I think 45 degrees was considered to be hot in a desert. You know, that's so hot that you can't carry enough fluid around with you to survive. you just need to be near water all the time, and preferably air conditioning. Couldn't imagine that. I've been to Florida, that was hot, and it was all humid as well. But there were lots of aircon about as well. The water tasted horrible though, like bloody sulphur. Man, I guess that's what you get when you build on a swamp, innit? Anyway, that's the gear selector that I just moved there. And that's my handbrake that I'm spinning. Well, parking brake in, I suppose, not an handbrake. You call it an handbrake in a car, don't you? Or e-brake. I think Americans call it an e-brake. Just stops you rolling, doesn't it? Bit of throttle. Now, I don't know if I do it on this scenario, but if you look where that number 1 is, that's like a tachometer. You got 2 engines running, and now it's the revs are in the yellow area on the heads-up display. There's a dial dead centre. So what you do is you throttle up, and then you throttle down, and then you change gear. A bit like in a car. Except you don't use a clutch. The clutch is sort of automatic. The RPMs have to get down below a certain rate. What you'll look at is the circle that's at sort of 8 o'clock on the outside of the heads-up display in the bottom right hand corner there. It's got a yellow portion on it. You see the revs just going up to that now. Like I say, there's 2 engines, or 2 banks of engines that are showing there on that yellow area, and then there's a number 2. So if you watch carefully on that, it'll be hard to see on a phone, by the way. If you watch carefully on that, the 2 will be sort of solid, and then when I change gear up to number 3, when eventually I do change gear up to number 3, it sort of greys out, and watch the RPMs drop. See, I didn't let them drop enough there, so it's not actually in gear now, and I've not noticed that. So all that's happening is the train's slowing down. And now I've sussed it there. Do you hear the engine revs drop, and now it went to number 3, and then it made it solid rather than greyed out the number 3. Yeah, if you're looking on a phone, that's going to be difficult. See professional tooting as I'm coming out of the tunnel. And I tried that another place, and the horn sounds just the same whether you're in or outside the tunnel. So I'd like to see a bit of a difference in that. The sound's not too bad in this game. It's quite alright, and you get a good sort of distance effect if you're watching it from a distance. See the XP's building up. It does look very northern, but they made it look all dull and horrible. You know, sunshine does come up north. It just looks grey and wintry, doesn't it? I suppose they've kind of got that right, haven't they, really? I think I've mentioned it before, but this... I did a review on this TransPennine pack. I don't know if you bothered to watch it. No, I just did it because I was actually fairly upset. Well, upset's probably the wrong word. I suppose disappointed. But you get sick of everything that comes out. You just get sick of it. It don't. It's like nobody gives a care about. I'm just kicked table. Nobody gives a care about the quality of the stuff they're putting out. And someone left me a message anyway saying, in the comments section on YouTube, saying that Dovetail Games are renowned for letting their bugs just sit in the games. And I don't know, I suppose I've got to agree with that in a way, because one of the other packs, the German one, can't remember what it's called, Row something or other, there was one of the first scenarios in it. It had pretty much a game breaker in it. You had to jump through hoops. I'd done a video on it. Somewhat Fixed it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but if you look on my channel, you'll see it there. It's only about, I don't know, 10 or 20 minutes long, and I had to jump through hoops to get this mission done. And that was, I looked at the fix, and the fix was actually hard to find on their own website, and it was in the forum. It wasn't even what they'd done officially. It was in the forum, so you had to dig it out yourself and spend ages finding it, 'cause it just seemed to want to hide it from you all the time, that there was all wrong with it. And the actual bug was really silly, but you could replicate it consistently all the time. It was just didn't release the brakes properly, that's all it was, and you couldn't move. Therefore you failed the scenario because you needed to move the train. It was that simple. But that bug has been known about since last August. Well, last August, depending on when you're watching this, in relation to this video, last August is probably 6 months away. You know, we're coming up to nearly February now, and we're beginning of August, so that's a substantial chunk of a year. So it went from from August 2018 at least. Then that's when the fix run. I don't know when the pack actually came out, because they must play test these things. Well, I assume they must. So that bug's just been left to sit there, and you know, all in all, the other comments I had about this DLC pack, well, apart from it's full of bugs, which it is full of bugs, you could see that on intro, the way that you could sort of drop through the map. There's different features on here that are not part of the main game now, like that little, where it says 00 in the heads-up display, there's like a accelerometer there that tells you how much you're accelerating or braking. It's braking to the left, accelerating to the right. You'll see it move, you know, as I accelerate and brake. That's only in this pack. That needs to be right across the board, part of the head-up display on all the trains. in it, but they've only got it on this pack, and I don't understand why they've not got it on all the other ones. Because for me, it's fairly essential. You can see if your brakes are working, and that's the most important thing. Because you're applying brakes, and there's such a delay on them, and it's so critical as to how you brake, as to how much XP you get, and whether you win or lose, fail or succeed. And look here, I've set it. I've got the reverser in backwards by accident. Real professional at work. Quite often I'll use the controller as well, if you're wondering why I'm not selecting the because I'm playing it on Xbox, and obviously don't have a choice with keyboard on that, I don't think, or mouse. I can't remember if I don't think I have. I've got a mouse for the Xbox, but I don't ever use it on anything because it's just not supported. I bought that XCOM. It was on sale over Christmas. XCOM, it used to be a great game on the PC, did XCOM, and my favourite was XCOM Apocalypse. And I thought that was at a time when I thought games were going to be absolutely awesome. They were getting better and better and more. You could do more in the more open worldy type. Open world games didn't really come with Grand Theft Auto, you see. Well, say it was open. It's not the open worldiness. What's good about open world games isn't that they're open world. The open world part is that you can basically do what you want, can't you? Because it's not a true open world game, is it? It's a true, like Grand Theft Auto, it's just a true open world of the specific city that you're in. Well, the XCOM Apocalypse game, you had sort of the whole world, and you could do what you wanted on it, more or less. But when you went to different regions in your dropship or whatever, they were like pre-rendered things, city outside, whether a UFO crashed or whatever there. But once you were in the mission, you could complete that mission any way you wanted, and that if you wanted to destroy the whole map to kill all the aliens, you could do that. You could literally do anything you wanted, within the movement limitations of the game, and that's what people like in a game. I think that's why the open world games are so popular, because it gives you the opportunity to do anything. Because what I like to see is a proper real world simulation, not like the one that we live in, one that's more fun than this. That would be somewhat, wouldn't it, if you could just decide you'd go to work one day, couldn't you, and get a job and work on a lathe or something like that, or be a gardener or be a lawyer, go to court. You know what I mean, don't you? You don't have to go rampaging round, shooting everything. But it's the openness in it that's the attraction, that you can do anything you want, and getting into them areas you're not supposed to be, like the airports in Grand Theft Auto, if you've played them. Might have track, hadn't I? Doesn't it look grey and miserable? But you can see the hills. The environment's quite nice. The graphics are really poor, though. Really, they really are. When you look at them, it's 2018 and it's 2019. I expected much better than this. Come off that accelerator there, you could hear that, couldn't you? Yeah, but graphics, especially on a game like this, it doesn't go that fast, does it? What are you going to do, 150 mile an hour or something like that in some trains? That should be quite easy to do, shouldn't it, with a game engine? Yeah, it's all a bit shonky, isn't it, and a bit serviceable. I don't know what their idea is. You'd think that they'd want people to like the stuff. People do like the stuff. I'm playing it, aren't I? But I just want it to be better. Just look at the draw distance. It's not on the rails and that. It's not very good at all, is it? It's literally yards in front of the train. And there's all sorts of things that's and in this pack, certainly this TransPennine DLC pack, that just make it look not as good. And I don't know if it's because it's always dull and miserable, but there seems to be the wheels on the trains have gone weird. Look at if you're interested, just look at the review I did on it. The brakes are quite hard as well to get to use. It takes some. Once you've got the brakes on, you can see the thing now there going right to the left, the accelerometer, and now it's gone to the centre. Yeah, the brakes are really hard to use, especially on this train. They seem to take a hell of a lot to release, and once you've got some braking pressure and the brakes actually start to bite, just to stop them from decelerating you anymore, you've got to take them completely off, release them, and that's it just takes ages to do. I mean, that other scenario I failed it because I wasn't paying attention. It was nothing to do with the brakes. On the other scenario, the one that I did the review of, I just found that you can, for some reason, kneel up and down on that. I don't know if you noticed it. On the other scenario, another collectible that I've got on the review of the DLC pack that I did, one of the trains seemed to suffer a brake failure, and I still haven't fathomed out why that occurred. The brakes just didn't work, and I overshot the station by a mile, and obviously that's a failure, scenario failure again, and I was quite a long way into it. So all in all, when you end up having to play test games rather than playing games, because that's what we all seem to be doing, don't it? Having to work around these little bugs and anomalies that they keep introducing into these games, because, well, I don't even know why. I would not under any circumstances put a substandard product out. I don't know. I used to be in a band and stuff like that. So when we never finished, we used to have like this little recording studio, and we never finished anything because I always thought there was more to do. You know what I mean? You just think, is that good enough? And then you go, no, I'll do it again. It's like there's like hundreds of different versions of guitars, literally, because it was on we hundreds of different versions. I've done the guitar solos and stuff like that, and you could, then in a position where you can't decide which one to choose, because you kind of like that bit from that bit from that, and another bit from that, and that, like take number 5 was quite good as well. So I have a funny feeling I'd be a bit too much of a perfectionist, and no software would ever leave my office. It just wouldn't be good enough ever. I'd be too busy polishing it. But you get to a stage, like, so I suppose it's like these YouTube videos, and I just think that's good enough, so I'll put it up. But I tend to not put stuff up if I don't think the quality is good, and I'll go back and I'll try and do my best, because I like my videos not just to look good but to sound good as well. And I've done some films as well, just like that. Proper films. I say proper films, proper films by my standards. I don't mean video games, I mean actual films. And the amount of time I've spent messing around with how the visuals are in it. This is just in the editing, not the actual filming part of it. And making sure that the sound were panned left and right, and all the right volumes, and that the music were nice, and that the level were, all the levels were nice. And eventually you just go, yeah, that's really close to how I want it. Now, do I want to spend another 100 hours on 5 minutes of film, or is it good enough as it is? And sometimes I will spend that extra time, not 100 hours, but I will spend substantial amounts of time just to make 30 seconds look really good or sound really good. So in the games programming environment, I'd probably be pretty useless. I'd miss every deadline, but my stuff would be good. But I'd probably only do what they do in Grand Theft Auto, only once every 5 years or something. I'm not saying that I'm that talented either, by the way. I'm just saying that I like stuff to be right. No amount of polishing is going to make me into a games programmer of any description. I can criticise them though. I've been playing them for a long time, and it's very easy to criticise things. I know that, and a lot of people make careers out of it, don't they? Just critiquing things all the time. You know, people that can't cook, they just go out eating and saying that's not good enough. Yeah, that's not good enough either. You're not good enough, you know, that sort of thing. It's very easy in it to criticise people like that constantly, and there's a hell of a lot of it. And then the other side of it, ooh, look at that, tooting like a professional. And the other side of it is you get these people that do the absolutely incandescent with rage ranting videos and things like that, don't you? And that can be quite funny for a couple of minutes, can't it? But some people again make careers out of it, and for some reason people like to watch people letting off steam, which I find a little bit bizarre. I don't know. I suppose we do like negative things, don't we? But I'd like to be in a position where I can just go, wow, that's fantastic. Just everybody should buy this. This tunnel's exceptionally long, I think. It don't look like it, but it is. And I'm over speed as well, so I'm not getting any XP. Just watch what happens here. It's quite shoddy. See that? It's like one of them nightmares, isn't it? You get to end at tunnel, and you run in, and there's like some kind of monster chasing you, or something's chasing you, and it's like running in treacle. It's like, oh look, it's just moved. The matrix is broken. Oh no. Can't reach the end. It's like my life. There's no light at the end of the tunnel, and then I get there and it just snatched away like that. Oh no. Boo-hoo. 65 miles an hour. See, this is quite a substantial tunnel. This will have took some digging, won't it? And again, we're nearly, oh no, we're not there. Now I'm going over speed again. It's like, I think it's 1.8 miles now to the station. I can't remember if this is where I got caught out with the brakes on one of the other scenarios when I was just really hammering through this tunnel. You know, because in this train, 70 mile an hour was quite fast. Well, 70 mile an hour was quite fast anyway, you know. I think that's what I think. Like if you fire an arrow out of a bow and it's something like 70 or 80 mile an hour, the speed of the arrow, and that does some damage if it hits you, doesn't it? This train hitting you, that's for sure. Not much left. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh no. Yeah. I'm sure if I looked. Obviously it's too late now because I can't see anything in the cabin. I bet there's some cabin lights that you can put on, because I found some cabin lights in one of the other trains. Looked like at the end of it there, look, we've just gone past a little green signal there as well, or a green light or something. Don't know what that was for. One of the collectibles things is some sort of lantern thing, and I passed one in, I can't remember if it was this scenario or not. It's just a little white lantern with like a red lens on it, sitting at the side of the railway track. You'd actually have to stop the train and get out and go back and get it, you know, walk back and get it, tooting the horn like a professional. But I'm over speed again. You see that the brakes are getting applied now though. I'm using the controller, that's why you can't see me messing about with the handles and all that sort of stuff. Them things on the dial, on the outside of the dial rather, the heads-up display, their brake pressure, the ones that's at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. on the outside. They're like brake pressure and things like that. I think I really fathomed them out. You see them moving now. And I'm using the controller now. I've released it, and the brakes are still on, aren't they? You see. The braking is the trickiest part of this, and like I said in the other one, because it's got gears, I actually stalled the engine. You've got two engines that you start up. I don't know if I stall it in this or not. Oops, sorry, I hit the thing. I'm probably going to go out for a wander, am I? Don't know. One of the other trains got a seat height adjuster in it. It actually works. Marsden. God, look at this. Graffiti. Rubbish. They make it look like a crap hole, don't they? It's crap all up north, isn't it? It's all grey and horrible. Look at litter everywhere. Yum, yum, yum. Don't think so. I don't want to visit this place again, not till someone's given it a good clean out. Boxes on platform. Whatever next. Yeah, and on that other, one of the other bugs on that other scenario is I couldn't get back in the train. So that was game over, man. Yeah. The bugs in games I now go on about it a lot. It's just, that's what I was saying earlier when I ended up on a tangent in about Grand Theft Auto and all kinds of stuff. It's just ridiculous. Everything has bugs and glitches, don't they, these days? Even some of the simple stuff. Oh, seemingly simple. None of it will be simple, will it, when you face facts? Computer programming's probably quite difficult. Changing gears now, you see, I've got better at it. And you can use the D-pad on the controller to go up and down on your gears. Up on the D-pad and down on the D-pad. Which is why you're not seeing me doing any and there we go. See? Ooh, smooth. Smooth as silk now. Yes. The sounds are alright, aren't they? The track and the engines and stuff, and a few of the other sounds, ambient sort of noises and that lot. Mr. Gear. There you go. It's lit up properly white now. Is that number 4? So that's when you engage it. For some reason as well, I kept putting the reverser in reverse because the reverser's on the left thumbstick. Tooting to me good mate there in his type thingamy. Locomotive. I said I don't even know names of them. Some. I mean, I know not many people will watch this, and certainly not train enthusiasts, because I'm not really talking about the train very much. I'm just waffling on about any old rubbish, aren't I? There isn't really much to talk about. I'm sitting here looking through a window, and every now and then I have to do something. The gear changing's actually made it a little bit more interesting. See, if the graphics were nicer, it looks quite nice on here, but like I've said many times in the other videos, if you've ever watched them, is that on your tablet, if you're watching this on your tablet or your computer or your phone, this is going to look good, but in reality when you're playing it, you know, live on the sort of Xbox, which I've got the Xbox One X, it's 4K, I've got a really good display, 40-inch, blah blah blah, and it just doesn't look good. Not really. When you get out, everything, every time you move, everything blurs. There's like a motion blur to everything. Then when you stop, it just takes a tiny amount of time to come into focus. In just such an unrealistic way as well. It's just, it just breaks the realism, completely breaks the realism, and you're thinking, this should be better, you know, because we're moving so slow. It looks very northern there, doesn't it? All them houses there and that. They have captured the essence of it. Oops, gone a bit fast here. That's going to be a bit of an overshoot, isn't it? Hear them brakes squeal. That'd have created some heat, wouldn't it? Yes. Up the platform. Never heard of the place. Never heard of the place. And look at it. It's a crap hole, isn't it? Oh, you can wander down here. Can hear my feet. Sounds like Frodo. If you ever watched Lord of the Rings, you know he's got great big furry feet that flap. And he cries all the time. If you read the book, he don't cry. He's a bit of a badass in the book, isn't he? Him and Sam Gamgee, but in film, I think the actor had something in his eyes all the time. Can't remember his name, but it looked like he got something in his eye all the time because his eyes were permanently watering, like he were on the verge of tears constantly. That's what I like in films these days, isn't it? When they make you cry all the time for some reason. All these emotions that they try and elicit out of you, like all these reality programs now, they're not happy unless someone's blubbing their eyes out, are they? Oh look, I've done some. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, you put one foot in front of the other, and then you did it again, and you managed to walk from one seat to another one, and then sit down. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I know. I want to flap my eyes now. Ooh, look, I have to fan my eyes, and the tears. Boo! It's quite pathetic. I think that was quite a good factual rendition of most programs that are on. I'm being a bit negative again, but that's it. I don't watch TV anymore. Probably because of that, and because of some of it's quite gruesome as well. And I had enough of that in reality, so I don't really want to be entertained by it. It's not my idea of entertainment. All this dark stuff all the time and staring at the camera. The film stuff real good though. They do film stuff a lot better than they used to do. It's just the content's absolute rubbish. You know, the stories so repetitive. It's like, yeah, I heard it. I watched some. Look, what were it? I literally saw about 10 minutes of Luther, and that was like in 2 bits of 5 minutes. And in that sort of 5 or 10 minutes that I watched it, I ascertained the full plot in that 10 minutes. And I predicted what the ending was going to be. And then when I asked someone who had watched it, my son-in-law, yeah, it was right. What I predicted was going to happen did happen. It was the one where there's some blonde psychiatrist woman and Luther, looking all moody, wanted her to tell him all about one of her clients. Anyway, I'm not going any further than that in case someone's recorded it. You never know. But it was just really predictable. Filmed really nicely. There's some really nice films and some nice lenses and all that used, and some good colour grading. There's an awful lot of effort goes into making these programs, you know. You look at some of the scenes you watch, pay close attention to all the colours and how they colour match people's clothes to the backgrounds and the scenery. Very clever. And a very time consuming, and some of them they'll set up, it must take them ages to get the shot set up, and then it's on screen for 5 seconds, if that, sometimes. It's very interesting. I studied how to make films, Not professionally, just look on YouTube, you can find out. There's lots of people do tutorials on this and other, and colour grading and all kinds of stuff. And I've learned about cameras and lenses and little things you can do, little things you can't do, and about sound and everything. Really interesting it is. But once you sort of learn a few things, you see things in a different light. Like real life, innit? It looks real easy when you're looking at it on telly, but they jump through hoops to make these things, and it costs a hell of a load of money and time. Poor actors though, having to hang around all the time in luxury RVs and things. Must be terrible for them. Mind you, when you watch some of them and the lines that they've remembered, not Marlon Brando, I think he used to read them off his hand. That's why he looked so cool. You're looking down at his hand when he mumbling, and everyone thought it was his acting, but he was reading his lines. He just looked cool and mumbled like, you know, that sort of thing. If you watch Apocalypse Now, anyone? Apocalypse Now is a perfect example of Brando acting, and the Wild One, that was quite good. What you're rebelling against? What do you got? You know, that kind of thing. I think that was the Wild One. I forget, there were so many rebel films or movies from the 50s. What was his name? Him that died in that Porsche accident. James Dean. Tell me he's seen me. Boom. Bye bye Jimmy. Got to feel sorry from there. I mean, that was a long time ago, but it's still, you know what I mean? Not a nice way to go. There's worse, but fancy doing that to yourself when you've got all them. Mind you, everyone has. We've all got potential, haven't we? And people just waste it. I think this is end of the scenario. Okay, them brakes are quite noisy, aren't they? And I've got a red signal, so this one's a mission fail if you don't get this one right. I don't know how I managed. Oh, I've stopped well short. I couldn't. You see, I couldn't come off the brakes. That's what happened there. I didn't get as much XP for that. No, it's no good trying to go on, mate. You're not gonna get them anymore. Yeah, you've already had your XP, haven't you? Because it's telling you to load the passengers. So that's it. Another successful mission after 3. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 attempts. I've done it now. Thought they might have been all collectibles, but they're not. So I've been to that station before because one of the posters were up there, the one with sandwiches on. Don't know what I've got to do now. I couldn't read what that said. I think it just shut everything down in it. That'll be the end of it. Make sure that brake's on. Yes, making no mistake now. Mind you, the game is actually telling me what to do, isn't it? There's a big red emergency brake up the side of the cab as well. I don't have a co-driver. Seats aren't very comfy in this by the look of it, are they? Considering how long you're going to sit in a train, you'd think they'd give drivers better seats than that. Mind you, I guess they don't want them falling asleep. That's one way, innit? Have them sitting on spikes or something like that. That'll stop you falling off, won't it? So now it's time to collect all my XPs. And I've got all green ticks as well. I can't see what the times are, but presumably I'm quite close. Anyway, that's it. Scenario completed. Waffled on a long time then, didn't I? Right, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if I'm going to do another one of these. Anyway, if you have watched any of them, thank you very much. Bye bye.